guys, it's your friendly neighborhood Nickman here. We're at the mission convento and all that stuff. It was later settled by Proto. This is one of the few sets they have. This is a stop at, so I'll see you soon. What's going on, you guys? It's your friendly neighborhood Nickman here, and today we're in the Jemez Mountains for Memorial Day weekend. And right now we are at the mission ruins of the Pueblo of Gisua, a thriving community for over 200 years prior to the arrival of the Spanish. It was one of the largest and most impressive pueblos in the Jemez area. The pueblo is known to have extended under the present highway and beyond of the Via Coelho. All that is left of the pueblo are the mounds of rock and dirt that mark the spot of the ancient homes. And this is all that's left now. Really? So all that's left now are just these mounds of rubble where people lived. And that's hard to believe because you just see these and this thing is stone. You see some pottery down there. And up here we have a kiva. We saw kivas in our last adventure to Salinas Missions, the missions of Curay and Gran Chavera. And like I said earlier, this is a place of worship for the Pueblo people, for the Kachina ritual and the Kiva religion. But we cannot take pictures inside the Kiva. You can go in there. This land and its inhabitants then have been, ever since God created them, subject to the demon and his slaves until this time, all filled with eustafas of idolatry, where they not only never adored the most holy name of Jesus, but did not even know. It is filled with churches and pedestals of crosses. Fray Alonso de Benavides, 1630, the eustafas of idolatry mentioned above were in fact kivas, or sacred structures of the Indians. The kivas were often destroyed by the friars in their quest for souls. The sunken area in front of you is the remains of a kiva. So there used to be a kiva right here too. The first missionary assigned to the Jemez region was Fray Alonso de Lugo, who accompanied Oñate in the original Spanish settlement of New Mexico in 1598. It is not known whether Fray Lugo or his immediate successor began the actual missionary work at Gisela, but two attempts at Christianizing the Jemez Indians, both in 1601 and 1621 to 1623, met with failure, probably through lack of adequate personnel. The Church of San Jose de los Jemez was founded by Fray Geronimo Zarate Samaron in the winter of 1621 to 22. The church, as seen today, is constructed of sandstone, with the exception of a few sections of adobe brick in and beneath the walls. The adobes suggest that an earlier church may have been constructed or at least started possibly by Fray Lugo. The ruins of this once imposing complex are testimony to the religious zeal of the 17th century Franciscans, who were responsible for construction of most of the mission churches of the American Southwest. While living at San Jose de los Jemez, Friar Samaron found a second mission, San Diego de la Congregación, at the site of modern-day Jemez Pueblo. Alright, so we're walking up to the church now, the mission church. You can see the walls Ripley because of the centuries of foundation settlements and settling of the foundation and everything over the centuries. Oh, it's closed. We'll also get pictures of it. During the first decades of Spanish colonization in New Mexico, South America, professional architects and engineers brought building knowledge to the new provinces. Such was not the case in 17th century New Mexico. No secular building experts entered this area among the colonists. The friars were left to their own devices. They relied upon their memories of the fine churches in Europe and Mexico and translated those memories to the soil of New Mexico. The mission church took on a new form, influenced by the local materials available, laborers who were untrained in massive construction, and the friars' personal knowledge of the architectural principles. The churches not only served as a house of worship, but were built with defensive measures in mind. The church door is 11 feet. This seems to have been a unit of measurement for the nave. It's about 33 feet long, 33 feet in width, and 110 feet in length. Wow. I know, I'm just going to go and check out this part here. Well, and there's the pedestals they used for the statuaries. And then up there to the left of the altar, there's what's left of a defensive window that was used. There was an example of. I'll add that clip here in a second from a previous adventure here. Wow. Oh, we got some ruins down here. I've never seen these before. I think they just restored these. Oh, I've never seen these before. Wonder what this is. This is new. So this must have been restored within the last 10 years. That was the last time I was here. Missionary efforts passing over this river, the Rio Grande, to the westward at 7 leagues, 1 strikes. The Jemez Nation, the Watch. When I came in as a custodian had been dissipated through all the kingdom and already almost depopulated by famine and war, which were on the way to finish them off. There, the most part were already baptized and had their churches by the travail of sundry religious, and so I promptly endeavored to claim it and gather it again in the same province and place there a religious who attended it with care. And we have congregated the nation in two pueblos. That is, in the Pueblo nation of San Jose, which is this pueblo, which is still standing with a very sumptuous and beautiful church and monastery, and in the Pueblo of San Diego de Congregacion, the site of modern day Jemez Pueblo, which for this purpose we founded new, bringing thither what Indians there were of the nation who were going about astray, likewise giving them a house and it food for some days, and plowed lands for their planting. For those and other like expenditures of charity, we religious are wont to barter even unto the sackcloth which your majesty gives us in the alms for our vesture. And so the congregation is today one of the best pueblos in the Indies, with its church and monastery and schools of all trades as in the rest. And although more than half of this nation have died, your majesty has withal more than 3,000 tributaries congregated there. Fray Alonso Benavides, 1630. And there's the Jemez River, almost like a creek. Yeah, this is probably what they were excavating the last time I was here. Oh, look, some steps. And we're still on a mound, so there's more underneath us. Oh wow, there is more here. Huh, and then we're in the shadow of the Mission Church. That would have been the convento. I think that's where we're at right now, is the convento. Yeah, it's different than I remember. Alright, we're gonna follow along the trail and see what else we find. So this must have been the convento part of the Mission Church. I definitely doubt this is the original flooring, the flagstone. Well, the flagstone probably could have been used in the original floor, but definitely not in this attribute. The scarcity. The priest and his assistants prepared for religious services in this room. It was also used for storage of sacred vessels and liturgical instruments. The scarcity at Pecos Church in 1776. All across the end wall there is a good wooden table that has 5 drawers without keys. There is a middle-sized cross on the wall. Below it are the prayers for vesting in manuscript. For this purpose, the table is completely covered by painted buffalo skin. There is a good platform at the foot of the table, and on it 2 small chests like these, in which the secular priests carry their vestments, and these have no locks. On one side there is 4 tablets with the edicts of the Holy Office, and the very neat wooden washstand on which the bowl and towel are placed as the custom outside this land. The things pertaining to divine worship are kept in all jars mentioned. I wonder if this led you up to the bell tower. Oh, there's the bell tower up there. And here's the altar. And there's that defensive window right there that I was talking about. So this part's open. Why isn't the church? I don't know. It must have been either the ground level has risen over the years, or that wall is short. That doorway? Just imagine what that window's seen. Either someone was really short, or the ground level has risen over the centuries. I don't know. But just imagine what this window has seen over the centuries. Or, I don't know if this was rebuilt for tourists or what, but just imagine back in its heyday what it would have looked like. And look, I gotta duck down just to get through. Oh, short. Yeah, and these windows are defensive purposes. See how they're notched? They're wider on the inside than they're narrow on the outside. And that was because, for defensive purposes, because when you're using a musket or arrows, it's easier for you to aim on the inside with the wider opening. But it's harder for the enemy to shoot back in when the outside is narrow. So it's a pretty much dumbed down explanation for it. Look, the horno. That's what or I think that's a horno or some sort of fireplace or oven. Oh, yeah, these are beautiful ruins. And now it's getting windy. I wonder if that was a square Cuba. Alright guys, so we're gonna head to our next location, so I'll see you then.
Oh, it's the soda down. How far up were you going?
Alright guys, we're back. Now we're at the Valles Caldera, which is a few miles north of where we were at, the mission, convento, and all that other stuff. So for 25 bucks you can go and take the trail. I think it's like a 25 to 35 mile trail around here that you can drive on. And it's kind of like a safari, you can see a lot of things. Oh, a Cybertruck. We don't have a vehicle that will take us that way, so maybe next time. But there's a place close to the entrance that I want to check out, so we'll take a look at that. Alright guys, we're back. And right now we're hiking up this trail to this abandoned movie set right here. Alright guys, we're back. And I wanted to check out this old movie set. It was for the 2003 movie The Missing with Tommy Lee Jones and Cate Blanchett. And filming began here, I think 2001 or 2002. And it's sat here ever since. Let's take a look at it, shall we? And the interesting thing about the caldera is its history. It goes back thousands and thousands of years. This at one time was a volcano, and there's the dome of it right there in the center behind the house here. And it was a volcano that blew its top. And it was later settled by proto Native Americans 11,000 years ago. And as recently, there was a ranch here in the 1800s. And then over time, movies were filmed here, just like this one right here. Let's take a look. It says no trespassing, so we'll just stay outside. Well, the first time I came here was about 9 or 10 years ago when they first opened the park. And the windows, it still had windows in it. Some wood, stock wood for the movie. Yeah. Because at one time you could be able to look in and see inside. Now you can't do that. Or wait. And then they got the door sealed off. See what we can see. There's a lot of bugs here. A lot of bugs flying around in it. Look at that big boy. Yeah, people have busted out the glass. People gotta ruin everything. So yeah, this is one of the few sets they have here at the Valles Caldera that you can visit. They have one where it was used for the last season of Breaking Bad, where Walter White was staying in the cabin. Still amazing. So yeah, and here's the barn. Yeah, you don't see that close up in the movie. Here's the outhouse, Cate Blanchett. Their first scene in the movie is in this. Wow, it's just beautiful. The roof's starting to cave in though. All right, guys, I'm going to get some more pictures here, and then we're going to see if we can find some more places to stop at. So I'll see you soon. All right, guys, we're back. So we weren't able to go to two of the other places that I wanted to check out, which were the Jemez Falls and Gilman Tunnels. Gilman Tunnels, surprisingly, I'm not surprised it's not open. Usually, every time I try to go there, it's always closed. But surprisingly, Jemez Falls was closed. Jemez Waterfalls. So I don't know. Maybe figure out when they're open again, and we'll go check it out. So hope you guys enjoyed this short video. Please like, subscribe, comment what you think we should go next in New Mexico, and see you next time. Peace.